All right. All right, everyone. It is that time. It's that time once again for another edition of Marilyn's Cafe Society right here on YouTube. Welcome to the show. Welcome to another show. Today is Thursday. It's October the 21st, 2021. And boy, what an exciting day. The word came down yesterday, early yesterday, that the Black Heroes Matter, along with the city of Chicago, will be celebrating the first installation of the new DuSable Lake Shore Drive signage that will, of course, run along the DuSable Lake Shore Drive. Oh boy, it's just so exciting. They've been working and petitioning, trying to make this happen for years now, to have the founder of the city of Chicago properly honored. And so today, obviously, if you've been with the show, back in June, it passed through city council and, of course, the mayor. And everyone got behind this initiative. And so now, today is the day that the very first sign will go up. And it's just an exciting celebratory day. So I'm a little bit on 10 if you have not noticed. Other than that, it's been a pretty good week. That has been a highlight, to say the least. And of course, my guest that's going to be on the show a little bit later on, in a matter of minutes, actually. So it's just an exciting day. And you stay right here where you are on the Cafe Society. Of course, we will not bring you fashion news because we do, as I just said, have a guest who's going to be coming on in moments. So let's get right into the news. I'm just excited. I'm excited. So let's get into the news, and then we'll work our way to our special guest. All right. So it appears that Kanye West is not the only person or well-known brand that's changing its name. Yeah. Listen, according to Verge, which is a tech publication, in an effort to reflect its focus on building what is being called the metaverse, Facebook is planning to change its company name in the next week or so. Now, reportedly, Facebook CEO and founder Mike Zuckerberg plans to talk about this anticipated name change that's going to happen at the company's annual Connect conference that's scheduled for the 28th. That's next Thursday, I believe. However, it's being noted and whispered that the unveiling could come sooner than that, which again will signal that the tech giants' ambition to be known for more than their social media is there. Now, the rebrand would position the Facebook app as one of many products under a parent company that oversees Instagram, WhatsApp, Oculus, and more. Now, listen, Facebook isn't the first well-known tech company to change its company name. Back in 2015, Google reorganized entirely under a holding company called Alphabet, which again signaled that it was no longer a search engine, but a conglomerate with many companies. All right. And Google is involved with driverless cars and in the health tech industry and more. Also, Snapchat rebranded to Snap Inc. in 2016. And of course, that was the same year that they introduced their first pair of spectacle camera glasses. And again, they began calling themselves more than just a social media app, but a camera company. So stand by. We'll see what this new name for Facebook is going to be. And of course, if you keep it right here to Maryland's Cafe Society, prayerfully, we'll be the first to let you know. All right. And as of 10 o'clock this morning, here's what's been happening with the stock market. It's been pretty good most of the week, but today the Dow was down by 50.23 points to 35,550.17 points. And the S&P 500 is up 4.81 points to 4,542.20 points. The NASDAQ is also up 59.46 to 15,449.78 points. Gold is down, however, $1.25 to $1,780.97 per ounce, and oil has decreased by $1.37 to $82.18 per barrel. And again, this was as of 10 a.m. this morning. Ready for some entertainment news? Well, listen, Disney has delayed release plans for upcoming films, including its Marvel sequels. Now, listen, the reports are saying that the scheduling overhaul is caused by production challenges only and not by box office returns. Now, the next Black Panther entry, for instance, is behind schedule. They're still filming in Atlanta. And so as a result, there's a domino effect that affects the rest of the franchises and filming schedules. And of course, COVID-19 has impacted the way studios release their biggest movies. They are looking into utilizing, or have been utilizing, not only traditional theater venues, but they also have been releasing films on digital platforms. And as a result, the movies on schedule for 2021 release dates will play exclusively in theaters for just 45 days before they move to digital platforms. Now, here's the updated release calendar on those films that have been pushed back. Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, which is a Disney film, was previously scheduled for release on March 25th of 2022. They are now moving to May 6th of 2022. Thor, Love and Thunder was previously scheduled for May 6th, 2022 release. It moves to July 8th, 2022. And I can't talk. Calm down, young lady. Black Panther, Wakanda Forever was previously dated to be released on July 8th of 2022. They now moved to November 11th of 2022. And of course, the Untitled Indiana Jones sequel was dated to release July 29th of 2022. It now moves a whole year later to June 30th of 2023. And so there it is, everybody. So you're just going to have to hold tight and be a little patient for some of your favorite Disney classics. All right. And so there was a recent survey taken that asked various singers, what's the hardest song you've ever had to sing? And the results were, and I've heard this before, I think I even talked about this before, maybe 10 years ago. But most artists, most singers say that the hardest song that they've ever had to sing was the national anthem. Why? Well, they say it's just a difficult song. It requires a lot of you. It takes a lot of energy. It's usually a cappella, and there's very little room for error. And so that's what many of them say. And I guess that's why so many in the sports industry and other arenas where they need someone to perform the national anthem, they're very picky on who they get to do it. Maybe one of these days I'll have a karaoke moment and sing it for you. All right. And so the producers of the annual Chicago Music Awards held a brief press conference last night announcing that they are now taking nominations for its 40th annual award show that's set to be held in February of 2022. Now, they're asking music experts to submit names of artists for the various categories in which they have expertise. Now, the nominees must live within a 200-mile radius of the city of Chicago for at least 1 year. And you can go to their website for all the other lists of criteria for the nominees, and of course, how to learn how to submit your nomination. The website is www.chicagomusicawards.org. All right, and so we're skipping that Passion for fashion segment because we do want to bring on our guest who, let's see if he's waiting in the wings. All right. Let's see here. All right, he's going to be coming momentarily. So just hold your horses, everybody, and we will wait for him to join in our green room. Let's see. All right, and while we're waiting, I'll just tell you a little bit about our guest. He, of course, is, oh my goodness, an author, which is the whole reason that he's going to be on the show today. But not only is he an author, he's an activist, he's an organizer, he's a socially conscious hip hop artist. I just learned that he was born in West Africa and raised here on the East Coast in the United States of America. And so he has a well-rounded upbringing and perspective on life, and you're really gonna enjoy him. All right, and so let's go ahead and there he is. Let's bring him on. All right. There he is, everyone. Again, my guest for today, and his name again is Tem Blessed. Tem, how are you?
Hey, what's up, Marilyn? I'm great. I'm feeling blessed and glad to be here with you.
Fantastic. You had me on here tap dancing, stalling, trying.
Oh man. Yeah, I think Zoom has done something where like it was even asking me for a password, things that I've never had to do when
Oh
I
my
when I
goodness.
check in. So I apologize for
All right. Well, it wasn't you, it was Zoom. Zoom, get it together, Zoom. Get it together.
we'll blame Zoom. We'll blame Zoom.
There you go. All right. So how are you?
I'm great. I no complaints, just busy time, but I think it's a busy time for everyone. So I can't complain. Busy, good busy.
Oh yeah.
Everyone's healthy, so give thanks.
Yeah, you have a lot to celebrate too. Um, in the last week or so, with the release of this book, which is fantastic. I have to admit, you mentioned busy. I've been so busy as well. I would say maybe 50% work and the other 50% in important meetings. So, I said that to just let you know that I'm a third of the way through the book, and thank you for the gift. And it is so, what do I want to say, adventurous and like a fantasy. It's really a good thing. And as I shared with the audience before you came on, this week we're in the midst of National Character Counts Week.
Yeah.
And so, character is an important thing. And you may or may not know, Tim, but I taught character education for, for middle schoolers.
Uh-huh.
And it was like one of my favorite subjects to teach. And as a substitute teacher, I don't want to take anything away from regular teachers, but for a period of about 8 years of my life, that's what I did. And so this particular year, for the full school year, I taught character education, and the children loved it. And I so enjoyed it because I didn't remember having a class like that when I was in middle school. And I think it makes such a difference in kids' lives. And, we talked about those 6 pillars of character. And speaking of which, and we'll get into your book after this, but which pillar resonates more with you?
Yeah, I had to kind of look it up. I'll be honest, because I was like, oh, this is great because I believe strongly in the importance of character. When I deal with young people, I as an educator, you know, as a
Mm-hmm.
hip hop artist, and as an author, I always try to bring about these, you know, these examples of how character matters. And I believe
Yes.
that character does matter, especially when I think of all the heroes and the sheroes that I look up to, like Harriet Tubman or Malcolm X or Martin Luther King,
Mm-hmm.
you know, Frederick Douglass. All these people had immense character. And so for me, when I looked up these different 6 different pillars, one that stood out to me was responsibility.
Mm.
Responsibility really, I seem to just resonate. I mean, they all were great,
Yeah, yeah. It's
but
hard to pick one, right?
responsibility, yeah, it was really hard to pick one. And responsibility just felt like part of why I do what I do, even in writing this book. I felt a responsibility for the next generation, you know, so responsibility for me as a man, as a Black man, as a father, as all these roles, husband, son, to an elderly
Mm-hmm.
mom, all these things remind me of who I am, right? And who
Mm-hmm.
I want to be, or who I strive to be, even if
Mm-hmm.
I'm not there yet, right? I remember that I have a responsibility for these relationships that I hold with people in my life that I love, and then also with the world, right? Also with you know, the organizations, the job responsibility. So there's a lot of levels that responsibility calls me to kind of rise to the occasion and to be
Mm.
the best person that I know I can be. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so yeah, so that one seemed to really kind of hit home and hit my soul and my being.
Oh, yeah, that is a good one. In fact, I was kind of torn between three, and responsibility was one of them, trustworthiness, but I settled with respect because in my head I was thinking, well, if that respect is there, then everything else might should
Hmm.
fall in line. You know, all the other pillars should fall in line. But I love responsibility because it, you know, it just brings to mind your, you know, the gist of your new book. And you know, the how you kind of touch on having good, you know, well, I'm not going to give it away, but it's, you know, responsibility is just kind of sprinkled all throughout what I've read so far, the importance of having responsibility, taking care of the planet and all of that. And
Hmm.
so you know, I see this book as an educational piece, an entertaining piece.
Yeah.
Again, it's very adventurous. It's futuristic. You just jump in here and tell us
Yeah.
more about your book.
Yeah. Planeta Blu, Rise of Agoo is an Afrofuturistic tale. It tells the tale of these inner city youth who embark on this adventure to save the world from this oil tycoon billionaire turned evil world conqueror. So
Mm-hmm.
for those that are thinking like, what does that mean? It's kind of where Narnia meets Harry Potter.
Mm-hmm.
So where, you know, the gritty like Hunger Game meets the Jungle Book, if you will. So it's
Yes.
kind of a mix of these kind of fantastic themes of talking animals, but also the reality of these social justice themes, racial justice, environmental justice, that these young characters are kind of plunged into all of a sudden. As most stories go, there's this huge challenge, and they're trying to have this challenge go from bad to worse. They're trying to stop this guy Xander, and along the way learn about, you know, who they are, their responsibility to our world, to also animals. And when I set out to write this book, which I knew, you know, I had a responsibility to the readers. I was one of those young people who um, maybe because I was born in another country, maybe just because I didn't like to read like a lot of young people out there, I gravitated towards comics.
Mm-hmm.
The imagery of comic books really captured my imagination as an artist myself, as a visual learner, as
Mm-hmm.
someone who likes adventure and this idea of, superheroes and that was my son, by the way.
Okay.
He popped in real quick. Sometimes I have the background blurry, and so they can kind of sneak in and out, but not today. So anyway, that
That's
was I
okay.
and I. And it's
Hi.
perfect because he popped in right away. So that's my oldest son. He's 22 years old. And so when I was um, reading bedtime stories or making up bedtime stories, that was the inception of Planeta Blu, Rise of Agoo, because I wanted to tell my son these tales of heroism,
Yes.
right? Being heroic, being passionate, being about something. And also, I think most people, right, like a happy ending, not
Mm-hmm.
without challenge, not without sacrifice, which this book has. But I want to let everybody know that this is not a tragedy, right? This is not one of those
Mm-hmm.
stories that you're going to leave feeling kind of disheartened or like, oh man, what's going to happen? No, I wanted to empower young people, especially youth of color. So, three
Yes.
out of the four main characters are Black youth, two of them Afro Latinx
Yes.
young people, and one of them is Cape Verdean like me. So I wanted to really um, uh, touch upon something that I knew. And one of the other characters is this character Tyler, which when I was in high school, had a friend named Tyler who was a transplant from Indiana. So I live in Massachusetts, and the story starts off in New Bedford, Massachusetts, similar to Moby
Mm-hmm.
Dick, and
Mm-hmm.
then it goes on from there. And so it was really important for me to create these sheroes and heroes for our youth, for our young people to be able to see themselves, right? To see themselves and to see that, wow, I have some of these characteristics, or I can build some of these characteristics. I think we all need to understand, and it's important for young people to understand that we grow, right? We evolve
Mm-hmm.
as people throughout life. I've had so many jobs and multiple careers as an entrepreneur. That's what I would describe myself, not only a hip
Mm-hmm.
hop artist and author, but many other things, because um, I love to create, I love to build. And so I want young people to understand that you can grow into, even if you don't see yourself as powerful as Lyris is, right? Which is our main shero in the
Yes.
book.
Yes.
Maybe you can be like her. She's the type of character that, although she might doubt herself, she knows that she has to kind of step into this position, having to represent the human race in this trial that's
Oh
happening
my goodness,
in
it's so good.
Atalantis. Yeah, and
Yeah, it's
and
so
and she's
good.
brought there to kind of tell this council that's going to decide the fate of humans, whether to kill off all the rest of the human beings that are on planet because of the atrocities that human beings do to the planet
Mm-hmm.
and the animals,
Mm-hmm.
or is she going to be able to convince the council otherwise? So I won't give it away
Yeah,
as to what
yeah,
happened, but
yeah, yeah.
it's really meant to inspire and to spark something in anyone that reads it, whether you're YA, a young audience, which is the intention for this book, is for a
Mm-hmm.
younger audience. But as we know, like Hunger Games and Harry Potter,
Mm-hmm.
those
Mm-hmm.
stories speak to all of us, right?
Yeah,
Even
yeah,
as an adult, I know I can
yeah.
benefit from it. And I've gotten some great reviews, not only from the younger readers, but also from adults that were really blown away by it. So that makes me
Yeah,
happy and excited at the
yeah,
process.
it's really it, as I said, it just kind of runs the gamut. And when I think about, instilling certain elements of character into young people, and even reminding the adults of who we are, what are we here for? What are we supposed to be doing? And it challenges you to use your imagination. Although your artist, your illustrator for the
Yeah.
book, what just did a fantastic job in bringing your story to life, and
Yeah,
so
Mike Laricia, shout out
okay.
to him. Amazing artist, and serendipitously happened, and I just want to, throw out this quick little bit of wisdom to folks, or hopefully inspiration. When I embarked on this journey, and that's what it was, to write this story, which, as a hip hop artist, I just wanted to keep making music, but the story just compelled me to keep writing. It was like, you got to write this, you got to put this out. I truly felt called to this, even as a work of fiction, right? To write this and to finish it. And then as I was looking for an artist, just serendipitously, a friend of mine, mutual friend of Mike and I's, just
Hmm.
said like, hey, I know this artist, he's amazing. Do you want me to link you guys up? Because I know you're working on this book. And I was just like, hold up. Like, do you have any, like, because I was a little skeptical, because they're like, oh, it's my neighbor. That's what she said, right? It's my
Hmm.
neighbor, he's an artist, he's an illustrator. And I was like, you know how it is. Sometimes not everyone is at the level
That's
which
right.
you want. And I knew this story had to be massive. So I was like, could you send me anything by him? So she sent me this link to his website, and I was just blown away by his art
Okay.
immediately. I was
Okay.
like, wow, this actually could potentially be, the guy to illustrate this. And then I met up with him. He was living in the same town, Hadley, Massachusetts at the time. Now we both live in Amherst. But I met up with him and just was like, wow, this is just someone who we really vibed really well with. He's a family man. He's, someone who's into hip hop, all these kind of things that just
Pluses.
lined up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that just
Yeah.
felt good. And then we embarked on this journey, try first doing some concept art for me, for doing the cover, just allowing me to kind of start envisioning and starting the step. And eventually I was like, hey Mike, would you be willing to actually illustrate the whole book? And he agreed. And so, I'm so happy at the at what came out of it as the
Yeah.
final product.
Yes, yes, yes. Planeta Blue, the Rise of Agoo. Man, I can't wait to get to the end. I'm just, it's very captivating. But as you know, when you have an important meeting or you got to get something done, you got to take those breaks. Otherwise, I would be done by now. But yeah, just a great. You
Right.
know what?
Take your time. Yeah.
As a matter of fact, Tim, I could see this as part of the reading requirements and character education curriculum, because it does touch
Mhm.
on those pillars of character, the importance of it, and
Totally.
even yeah, I could see that. And that's something maybe you want to check into.
Yeah, I definitely will, because there's these four characters all have their unique perspective on what's going on, right?
Hmm.
And so Laris being the main one, she got her head on straight. She rises to the occasion. But we have her younger brother Angel, who is Puerto Rican. And for those who know a little bit about Puerto Rican culture, I'm married to a Puerto Rican woman, and
Okay.
grew up around Puerto Ricans all my life. And
Okay.
any angel that usually is not an angel, right?
Okay.
I always have a joke about like, why do y'all want to name your kids angel when they're
uh,
they're far from it? Not that they're bad people, right? But usually the
mhm,
angels tend to be the ones that are most mischievous. They always
mhm.
get jokes, and
They,
so I wanted
they
to
have
create.
that angel potential.
Yeah. But in the meantime, they might have, some horns on their head
Oh goodness.
until their halos come in and their wings come in. So Angel is that character, right? He's the comic relief. He's the one that says the wrong things at the right time.
Mhm.
And I've heard from many young people that they see him as one of their favorite characters. He comes to,
Okay.
because he's relatable, right? He's not
Hmm.
he's not the perfect person just yet. He's
Hmm.
still evolving and still trying to figure out what it is that he wants to do. But to some of the other pillars, he has a lot of courage, right? He's
Hmm.
ready to kind of step into also the challenge, and he's not cowering away from it. And he's really said like, hey, I got my sisters back, and I'm gonna be here for you, no matter which way you want. You're the leader, so I'm gonna follow your lead. And it's tough, and it's kind of funny because as I was talking, Marilyn, I kind of got a little emotional because of knowing you haven't gotten to the part in the story, but there's different things that happen in the story, and
Okay.
and I won't give it away.
Okay. Okay.
But I feel like, once again, as a writer, for anybody who might be writing, I felt drawn to these characters. I felt what do you call it, like what they were the emotional impact that some of these characters were going through. And even in thinking about book 2 and book 3, because this is part 1 of the trilogy, I also have to say that at times when I'm as I'm outlining these other books, I'm like, oh, I don't know if I want to go there, because it feels so real. I'll be honest with you. Even
Yeah.
though this is fiction, right? It's fantasy, it's
Yeah.
Afrofuturism. There's a certain level of connectedness that as an author I feel, and I hope the reader also feels eventually, as they're reading the book. But just so you all know, I feel really connected to these authors. I mean, to these
To the
characters. And
characters, they have to come to life through you.
yes, yeah,
Yeah.
totally. And
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
be on the lookout. Hopefully, they move you in the same way that I've been moved, and other people who have read the story have communicated back to me.
Yeah, as the author, Tim, is there one character in particular that is like it, or is like you were, or it or are?
Yeah. I
Okay.
think Tume would be the character that I
Okay.
really connect with, because he's the young man who's from his heritage, his ethnicity is the same as mine. He's
Okay.
Cape Verdean, so
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
but he's second generation. I'm first generation. I was born there. He's second generation. However, he still has these connections to Africa in a way that, as you will see in this book, and also the second book, really connects with the roots of Africa. So as you're reading through the story, this story, and it's divided into 3 parts, like most stories, where the first part takes place underwater in the
Mm-hmm.
lost city of
Mm-hmm.
Atlantis, and then
Mm-hmm.
they emerge, right? So the second act is them actually in South Africa, and so they get to meet other characters. I almost said Biko would be my favorite character. So one of them is this South African young man who comes to their aid, and then there's this wise medicine man
Yeah,
called
that's where I
Ajuku.
am. That's
Oh,
where
okay.
I'm
So
getting right
Ajuku,
there.
yeah. So
Mm-hmm.
he's the brilliant scientist slash medicine man, and he creates this fascinating ship called the Mind Wind that travels through space and time at the speed of thought. And then and so and then the last part takes place back in Colorado in the United States, because of its connection to NORAD and
Gotcha.
nuclear weapons. So that's like bringing
Gotcha.
it back to like some real
Yes.
danger that we're all facing ever since United States dropped 2 atomic bombs on Japan.
Yeah.
So Tume, he gets his power, right? So a part of this story is this fantastic superhero story also, but the superhero-ness comes from this connection that these young people make with Agoo and the power of connecting with animals. So if you make this connection, you connect to animals. And so Tume, which is one of the character that resonate with, he connects with one of the animals in Africa. And this is a little bit of a spoiler, but I want to say it just so people hopefully can be inspired, which is
Mm-hmm.
the Black Eagle. So there is,
Okay.
I didn't know about the Black Eagle until, like they say, how old were you? I was, 2 years, actually, I want to say like 3 years ago, years old, when I
Okay.
found out that there was a Black Eagle, right? We know, living as Americans living in this country, of the bald eagle, and
Yeah.
we might know that there's other eagles, but I didn't know that there was a Black eagle. When I found out about this, and shout out to Joe Madison, who's on Sirius XM. He goes also by the name of the Black Eagle. I was like, wow, this is the Black. So I had to Google it. And please do, anybody Google the Black Eagle of South Africa, and you'll see this majestic, beautiful, regal bird. And for me, that's the link that who man connects with, and I'm hoping it inspires other young Black males or anyone in that part to be this strong, fierce, beautiful. For me, Black is beautiful all the time, all day, every day. For me, Africa is where life started, and we know this scientifically. And when you look at the beauty and the wealth, all of the wealth of Africa that unfortunately has been exploited in the wrong way.
Mm-hmm.
I want young people to reconnect with their roots, and everyone, right? Because that's where
Mm-hmm.
all life, human beings came out of Africa, so they could see themselves as this beautiful, courageous being.
Well, I'm today years old learning about the black eagle, but I just Googled it real quick. I'll have
Yeah,
to read up more on it, and I haven't gotten to that part of the book yet, but it
yeah,
just, this journey is just so, it just kind of takes you away. If you need to just, rather than get in the tub and let Calgon take you away, get
yeah.
this book, Planeta Blu, The Rise of Agoo, and with your kids or without your kids, if you don't have any, just let yourself take this journey with the four characters and the animals. And although it's a fantasy, a sci-fi fictional piece, it's still has lots of real issues
Mhm.
that we can translate to the real world, things that we're dealing with on this planet as the human race, and obviously giving respect to the animal kingdoms, the various animal kingdoms and all of that. And I'm sure that was your big takeaway,
Yeah.
that's what you wanted everybody to kind of walk away with, right?
Yeah, totally. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I think we're at a moment in time where we have to evolve our thinking. The classic or the usual business as usual is not working. The way that we harvest and consume vegetables and animals is not working, y'all. It's
Mm.
causing climate change. It's causing extinction of some of these animals, and ultimately, we continue to try to look out to the world. And I'm one of those people. You probably see, the Starship Enterprise right there. I love space exploration and all that, and have that
Okay.
type of mind to imagine what other civilizations might look like in other planets. However, we have an abundance of different life forms here. If we tomorrow found out that there were animals like dolphins on, Venus or another exoplanet, we would be like, oh my God, this is amazing. We'd probably spend, the next foreseeable future trying to communicate with these animals, right? That we would
Yeah.
have probably a hard time, but we don't do that with animals here,
Yeah.
and worse, we actually consume these animals, right? Animals that we look in their eyes and can see that there's something there looking back, right? It's not like
Yes.
it's cold and like a robot. It's like, no,
Right.
this dog, this cat, this
Like, I see
tiger,
you.
I see you. They see you, and
Yeah.
you could tell they have feeling. If we hurt them, you could tell they're in pain. All these
Yes.
things.
Yes.
You know,
Yes. Yes.
so I didn't set out. I'll be honest with you, Marilyn. I didn't set out to write this type of story, but the story told itself, and I think that's
That's it.
what I'm learning through. Just closing my eyes, and my process was just closing my eyes and just writing it, because I'm more of a writer than an actual typer, right? And then I would transcribe it, and so this story really, at one point, and you'll see they were going to go one way, and then there was almost like a detour, and that's when that strong animal, especially around zoos, kind of came into being. And so I feel like the takeaway for everyone is, let's look to be better, better stewards of this planet, whether it's for our fellow man and woman, whether it's for the land. You know what I mean? I think we
Mm-hmm.
realize, like, we're destroying this environment, but also
Mm-hmm.
for the animals.
Mm-hmm.
Let's really try to evolve into a higher thinking, higher consciousness, and hopefully reach enlightenment. That's ultimately my goal and my wish for anything that I do, as far as my music and my message through this book.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You knocked it out of the park. Hey, listen, I won't be surprised you have that Marvel T-shirt on. I won't be
Yeah,
surprised, if some way somehow, the folks over at Disney or whatever.
yeah.
I just did a report prior to you coming on, that
From your lips
Disney.
to God's ears. There
There
you
you
go.
go.
Yeah.
Their all of their Marvel films are going to be released at a later dates, anywhere from 6 months to a year later because of production problems, and so we'll have to wait for the Black Panther sequel, Wakanda Forever,
Yeah,
and
Wakanda
all of
forever.
that. But
Yeah.
yeah, this is I can I just can visually see your graphic novel becoming or comic book. It's so funny because I always would say, I think one year, I don't know, I think I had someone on my show when I was back on the radio,
Mhm.
it had something to do with Comic Con.
Yeah,
That's
comic
like a big
convention.
convention.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I was saying the whole time, I was like, I didn't have time for comic books. That was my brother's thing.
yeah.
But
Uh-huh.
here I am reading this comic book, this graphic novel, and I just I give it my I give it what, thumbs up. If we were in
Yeah,
the film
yeah.
industry, give it
Or,
a thumbs up.
yeah, you give it a thumbs up or stars, five
That's
stars,
right.
or I like to say fist, I
Yeah,
think
yeah,
I'll
yeah,
give it like five fists.
yeah.
And you hit the nail right on the head. That's the intention, just so you know.
Hmm.
For me, the idea is to go beyond the book, and hopefully this is a storyboard for a movie or a series,
Hmm.
whether it's Marvel or Disney Plus
Hmm.
or Netflix, whatever.
There you go.
I'm speaking it into
There we
existence.
go.
I want to see this be an animated piece. And what I've always said is, because these characters are from New Bedford, Massachusetts, which is where I grew up,
Yes.
I would love to give, any production that comes my way. I'm going to say, listen, I want to, if it's going to be a voiceover, I want to give the chance, the access for the young people of New Bedford to have a stab at this.
There you
You got to
go.
come with it, and like I always tell my youth, you got to rise to the occasion. But I know the talent that's in New Bedford, and I
Yes.
think we can find some polished, diamond in the rough type of
Diamonds in the
talent
rough. There you go.
to bring them into this process, and to give them the lead in some of these roles. But maybe,
Opportunity.
yeah, an
Opportunity.
opportunity, just
Yeah.
access. Totally.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. All right. Well, listen, I'm behind you 100% on that. And
thank you.
just let people know where they can get your book, Tim.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So right now you can go to planetablu.com. So that's like planet with an A, Planeta, and then blue without an E, just to make things interesting, right?
Hmm.
BLU.com. And you can order the book. So there's, there's the book, there's also a hardcover book, and then there's other things like stickers and and cards and t-shirts coming away, because as you know, sometimes people get so excited that they want to be living Planeta Blu in all its ways. So we want to make sure that that stuff is there. So you can get it there. Eventually it'll be in other places, but right now I want to hold this where I can actually control it and hold it. And it's put out by Aura's Legacy. That's the publishing company. And so go out and check it out. It's a powerful book. I've gotten so many great reviews from young people, from parents who said, like, my son never liked to read, or I try to have them read every night, and they came back day after day. I don't tell them what to read, but I gave them this book, and they came back day after day and read your book. So that feels really good. It feels good that young people are choosing to use this as part of, when given a choice to read, different books, they're like, hey, I want to read Planeta Blu. Once again, giving them access. So even if comic books or graphic novels might not be the thing for you, or you might not know, first of all, try it, right? That's what I would
Yeah,
say.
I'm
Look
telling
at it,
you,
because
I'm
the
in.
colors
I'm
is
in
very
now.
nice. Nice. And this is to your point, Marilyn, this is the way that things are going, especially around fantasy and action, right? A lot
Mm-hmm.
of movies that are coming out nowadays are all graphic novels, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so a lot of people just see the reality like, wow, this it was already successful in this form. It already has an audience, but more importantly, it's already storyboarded out. And I'll be honest with you,
Exactly.
I had visually when I was describing this to Mike and the way that I wrote it was for it to be, to be a film, to be up on the silver screen, if you will,
Well, there
or
you
on
go.
TV. Yeah,
There you
yeah,
go. And
yeah,
and so it is, as they say.
yeah.
All right, one more time, Tim, that website.
Yeah, so planetablu.com, and it's spelled PLANETABLU.com, and you'll see also the trailer for the film. You'll saw all the information and a simple way for you just to order the book. And I'd like to say, by the time this probably airs, we'll even have more capacity. But for a while, it was challenging, right? During COVID, during this time,
I
to
know.
unfinish the book. But then once we got over that, is to get the stuff over here. There was a huge bottleneck. But luckily I
Oh,
had
yes.
some
Yes.
expedited, and so the
Okay.
majority of the books is coming in next week. This is me just being
Fantastic.
transparent. Yeah, so we got over that hurdle, which took a while. I'll be honest with you, which is like it's so challenging for anybody who goes through this process. Just have the faith, have faith, and just know
Hmm.
that everything is designed in a way that's bigger than us. I believe in that, being a spiritual person. I
Yeah.
know that this, I had my plans, and it's important to have your plans, but know that there's a bigger plan on top of it that
I agree. And sometimes
yeah,
you're disappointed about things that, this didn't happen, that didn't happen, this didn't work out, and you find yourself somewhere else. And then you look back 10 years later and it all kind of, that scripture says it all works together for the good, and it does. It really does.
yeah.
And so, yeah, congratulations, Tim. I,
Thank you
I,
so much.
I, um, I'm just so excited to learn more about you and to experience this with you with the fruition of one of your dreams
Yeah.
happening. And so whatever I can do to help you with that, I'm here.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you for having me on the show. That's part of it. It's just making people aware. Awareness is so key. Reminders are so key, even for ourselves. As a mindfulness teacher myself,
Hmm.
a lot of what I aim to do is just raise the frequency. We've had so many great examples of people throughout history, or maybe even in our family or mentors, of people who walk in that light every day, looking to just raise the frequency, just to see people, even on the street, and just say a hello, a hi, or what's
Hmm.
up, or a nod, so that they see. Sometimes people just feel invisible until someone says hi, how you doing, good morning. Some of those
Hmm.
like basic kind of like human elements that sometimes get lost in the daily just kind of run. And
Yeah.
what I
Yeah.
try to remind myself through meditation, through mindfulness, through breathing, through being present, through being aware, and that spills over into art, right? Marilyn, it's like how do
Hmm.
we extend this beyond ourselves, because it's one thing to have it all together, which I'm far from from there, but having it all together and having our own lives settled and good, but then to go that extra mile for the people beyond, and I think of Harriet Tubman, and others who, a common theme that I see in people like Amilcar Cabral, or Che Guevara, and on, or Martin Luther
Hmm.
King, is that these people could have been all set, like their lives, they're usually go and they get their education, or they get free, and now they're free, but they say, no, I'm gonna go back and
Yeah.
go, and
Yes.
my people up, and awaken my people, shake them up, and
Yes.
say, like, wake up, let's do something more and better. And so that's the spirit of Planeta Blu, Rise of Agoo, is just to, do its part, right, in waking folks up to a higher awareness, and hopefully an awareness that allows folks to finally change. I'm one of those people, like, revolution is the only solution, but we really have to spiral up, right? So we don't just come back around full circle to the same place. It's like, let's raise this frequency so that this revolution really gets to a higher dimension.
Yeah, and I think it helps to just have an open mind. I mean, not open to where you are susceptible to be sucked into some dark hole,
Yeah.
but just like, for example, with your background, being born outside of this country, being born on the continent of Africa, and then having parents who are African, and that whole perspective from that vantage point, and then being raised on the East Coast, and all that means. It means a whole lot. And I'm not knocking Midwesterners because I'm one, but
Oh, yeah.
that East Coast thing is just,
Well,
it's a
yeah.
whole new vibe, right? It's a
Yeah.
whole different vibe.
Yeah. And it's, for me, it's just, uh, being, uh, I don't want to say proud. Proud is probably not the right word, but just knowing that, like, being authentic, like, hey, this is who I am, right?
Yeah.
And this is my accent, right? You could probably hear it. It's a strong Massachusetts accent. And even in Massachusetts, where I'm from, New Bedford has its own, like, people be like, where are you from? In Massachusetts, right?
Okay.
So
Okay.
it's a deeper level of accent, but embracing that, right? And being that,
Hmm.
and saying, like, hey, if the English, everybody loves the English accent, right? It sounds
Yeah.
so, fancy, but
Yes.
I'm, as someone who loves words and loves sounds, right? And music and all that, I love to hear Midwestern sounds, someone from
Hmm.
down south, someone from
Hmm.
Jamaica, someone from India.
Hmm.
All
Hmm.
those, like, sounds, it just makes this world so rich, right? And so that we
Yeah.
say, like,
Yeah.
wow, it's so fascinating, so beautiful, and we all have a story, right? We all have a
That's
story
right.
to tell, and it's all unique. Even if, my brother, I have 4 older brothers and older sister, we're not the same. As similar as we are in certain
Hmm.
things, we have disagreements,
Yes.
political disagreement, but at the
Yes.
end of the day, we remember, right? Hey, we're all, it's easy for us brothers and sisters, but, trying to extend that and to say, we're all part of this human family, right? We're all part of this, this earth family that got to look out for one another 7 generations forward. Is so important to continue to remember, folks. So even here in the East Coast, I haven't been from West Africa, and seeing it, through my perspective of my worldview, it's just important to do your part. That's like a message and a reminder, for myself and for others. Just do your part, do your little part, do it the best you can, do it
That's right.
to its fullest, but just do your part, and let that light shine in the best way you can.
That's it. That's it. All right. Well, listen, it has been a pleasure sharing this time with you, Tim, and of course we'll have to do it again at another time. But again, it's Planeta Blu, The Rise of Agoo. It's a graphic novel. Some people call it a comic book. And it's targeted for middle schoolers and up.
Yeah.
So get your copy. I'll put the links in the comment section under this video for those who didn't get a chance to jot it down. But
Perfect.
thank
Perfect.
you,
Yeah.
Tim. Thank
You're so
you.
welcome.
Yeah.
Appreciate you. Thank you so much.
And you have a good rest of the day, and we'll be talking again soon.
All right. Awesome. Thank you.
All right. Peace.
Peace.
Okay, everybody. Tem Blessed, author of Planeta Blu, The Rise of Agoo. Again, I'll put those notes in the comment section of this video on YouTube. All right, and so, his graphic novel touches on character and the 6 pillars of character. And so, my one last thing before we wrap up the show is for those who may have forgotten who may have forgotten the six pillars of character. And so I'll just briefly run them down to you before we wrap. The first one is trustworthiness. Trustworthiness, that means just to be a trustworthy person, keep your promises, build yourself a good reputation, be reliable, don't be deceitful, don't lie, cheat, or steal. The next pillar is respect, which is one of my favorites. That's when you treat people as you would like to be treated. Follow that golden rule. Don't threaten folks or hurt people. Be considerate of others' feelings. Deal peacefully with your disagreements. The third one is responsibility, and that means to just be diligent, to persevere, do your best, be self-disciplined, have a positive attitude, make healthy choices, be accountable for your words, your actions, and your deeds. Fairness is number 4, and that is, of course, to play by the rules. Don't take advantage of others. Treat all people fairly. Don't blame others carelessly. Next is caring, which is to be kind and to forgive others and show mercy, express gratitude. The word empathy comes into mind when I think of caring. And last but not least is citizenship. And that means to get involved in your community, in your families, first and foremost. Stay informed, be a voter, be a good neighbor, protect the environment, volunteer. All right. So there you have it. Trustworthiness, respect, responsibility, fairness, caring, and citizenship. And so make sure that you practice those pillars of character for the balance of this week, because it is National Character Counts Week, and throughout the year and for the rest of your life. All right, that takes us to the word for the month. And the word for the month continues to be irrumpant, meaning to burst forth or to break through a surface. And so make sure you practice it and use it for the balance of the month, everybody. Once again, I want to remind you that we will be doing our countdown to Christmas, the very first countdown to Christmas giveaway next week. So again, send an email with your contact information if you want to put your name in the drawing, and you can email it to producer@Maryland'sCafeSociety.com. and be that first winner for the year 2021. And again, we'll do it in November and December. Also, remember to check out my website, Maryland'sCafeSociety.com, where, of course, I will have a link to my latest blog, as well as links to all of my social media. And be sure to like and subscribe and share this YouTube video. And of course, join the email club by sending just a quick email saying, sign me up for the email club at Maryland's Cafe Society at yahoo.com. And then I want to tell you what love is. And love is pampering yourself. Love is pampering yourself. All right, everybody. Okay, that's it. That's it for this week. I may pop in via social media or maybe even YouTube over the weekend. Who knows? But in the mean and between time, until we meet again, make sure that you live, you laugh, and you love. And as always, it's a pleasure and a privilege to hang out with you. Thank you to our guest, Tem Blessed, for stopping by and sharing time. And I'll see you on the next show. Peace, everybody.